How do we begin? Where do we start? How do we read the Bible? The word hermeneutics is a word used to describe principles for interpreting the Bible. Is it really necessary to interpret? After all, can't we just read it for what it is and get the plain, clear meaning? Let's just read it. Just read it literally. Well, even deciding to just read it literally is a hermeneutical decision. Every time you read, you're using hermeneutics. The right hermeneutic starts with the very breath of God, the Scripture itself. What does the Bible have to say about itself? Canaanites, a pretty pagan people, would cook a baby goat in its own mother's milk because they believed that it would somehow make the land more fertile. They were trying to please pagan gods. So in Exodus 34:26, Moses writes to his own people, "Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk." After generations of interpretation, the original context of this verse was lost. Some people concluded they needed two separate kitchens, one for meat and one for dairy, with separate pans and everything, to make sure there was no chance of ever cooking a baby goat in its mother's milk. The kosher kitchen is based on this verse. This is a great example of how hard it can be to understand what a verse is teaching if we take it away from its historical context. There was a lot of temptation for the Israelites in their new land to follow those Canaanite rituals in order to make the land fertile. Moses was trying to teach them to trust and worship the one true God and not to follow pagan rituals.